What's up, word nerds? Welcome to the dictionary. This is my podcast. We talk about all the stuff in the English language, literally all the stuff, just super, super slowly. We are at the end of page 190. I would sure love a review, a rating on whatever podcast platform you are listening to this on. Just please go tell the people and subscribe and write me a review. Oh wait, I already said that. Don't say it twice. But you can send me some messages and stuff. All of that information is in the episode description. We like to call that the show notes. So today, there's a lot of stuff going on today. It is March 1st. Happy March. On Wikipedia, a lot of these, it says this is the earliest day that this holiday can fall on. So we'll say those. But I'll check another site too. Anyway, in Iceland, it's Beer Day. This marks the end of beer prohibition, which was only in 1989. So they ended beer prohibition in 1989. What about other alcohols? So the good for you, Iceland. There are more Christian feast days listed here, which I am not going to read. In, I guess, in Iraq, Kurdistan, it is the commemoration of Mustafa Barzani's death. It is the earliest day. This is actually local to me because I'm in Illinois. It is the earliest day on which Kazimierz Pulaski Day can fall. First Monday in March. It's very local. It's Polish. We have a very large Polish population here in Chicago, or just in the area. And my sister and her friend, I'm not going to get into the details, but they actually made up their own sort of Pulaski Day thing based on the 'twas the night before Christmas. Twas the night before Pulaski Day. It was just funny to us. Maybe someday you'll hear that. In New Zealand, this is the earliest day on which Children's Day can fall. In France, Grandmother's Day, this is the first day. In let's see, Western Laetare Sunday. What day is today? I don't know. So that's that. In Paraguay, it is Heroes Day. In Yugoslavia, it is Independence Day. This is the independence of Bosnia and Herzegovina from Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. So that's a good Independence Day. In Poland, it is National Cursed Soldiers Remembrance Day. In Marshall Islands, it is Remembrance Day. I said there was a lot, didn't I? In Wales and Welsh communities, it is St. David's Day. I am not even going to try to pronounce that in their language. It's just a lot of consonants. It's not, but it looks like it is. In South Korea, it is Samiljeol. I don't know how to pronounce that. It is also Self-Injury Awareness Day. Ooh, maybe I should be very aware of what I do because I often self-injure myself. Let's see, Southeastern Europe, in Bulgaria, it is Baba Marta Day. In Romania and Moldova, it is Martisor. It is the fourth or fifth day of Ayam Iha, which is the Baha'i faith. It's the final day. Why does it say fourth or fifth? Does it change depending on the year? I don't know. It is World Civil Defense Day. It is Zero Discrimination Day. Every day should be Zero Discrimination Day. What's going on there? In the Yap state, which I had to look up, that's in Micronesia, it is a Yap Day, which I don't know what that is. Let's click on it. One of the 4 states in Micronesia, celebration of traditional Yapese culture. Sweet. They do competitions and dances. I just love the name Yap Day. And then in the U.S., it is National Pig Day. So go celebrate the pigs. Did I miss anything? Let's click on this one. Seriously, this podcast is... Somebody actually recommended to me that I could do this whole holiday thing as a whole other podcast, but I'm not probably going to do that. Let's see. What did I miss on this other thing? Beginning of spring, beginning of autumn. In Canada, Social Work Week starts. In Australia, it is Labor Day. And I think that is good for that. Wow, that was almost 5 minutes. I got to fix this problem. Okay. The first word is carvel-built. Carvel-built. There's a hyphen. Adjective from 1798, built with the planks meeting flush at the seams, as in a carvel-built ship. Maybe I'll put all the holiday things at the end of the episode, so if you don't want to hear them, you can stop it. But if you want to hear them, you can just wait till the end. Next, we have carven, adjective from the 14th century, wrought or ornamented by carving. And carving is our next word. It is a noun from the 13th century. 1. The act or art of one who carves. 2. A carved object, design, or figure. Next is car wash. 2 words. Noun from 1948. An area or structure equipped with facilities for washing automobiles. I've said this before. I love these kind of funny, very specific definitions. It is an area or structure equipped with facilities for washing automobiles, also known as a car wash. Going to the car wash. Car wash, yeah. Next is a prefix carry or carryo. C-A-R-Y, C-A-R-Y-Y, C-A-R-Y-O. It is the synonym is carry with a K. So we'll learn more about that in the Ks. Next we have, you could pronounce this a few ways: caryatid, close enough. This is a noun from 1563. A draped female figure supporting an entablature. A caryatid. Might have to post a picture. I'm guessing it's like a sculpture of some kind. This is from Greek caryatides, which is a priestess of Artemis at Carii, or caryatids, in Laconia. So unless it's not safe for work, maybe I won't post a picture. But yeah, that's what a caryatid is, and you could pronounce it so many different ways. You choose your way. Next, we have caryopsis. This is a noun from 1830. A small, one-seeded, dry, indehiscent fruit, as of corn or wheat, in which the fruit and seed fuse in a single grain. So yeah, I guess on corn, if you think of corn on the cob, each one of those kernels, that would be the fruit and the seed. Huh, never thought about that. We had some popcorn last night. It was very good. We eat that way more than we should. But, we're adults. Next is CAS, all caps, abbreviation for Certificate of Advanced Studies. Next is CASA, C-A-S-A. I think a lot of you know what this is, right? Noun from 1843. It is chiefly southwest, and the synonym is dwelling, because in Spanish, and it looks like also Italian, it means cottage. I always knew it as just house, but it can mean lots of things that are, there are lots of words that basically mean house. And let's see, what else was I going to say about that? Oh, and chiefly southwest. The southwest in America is heavily influenced by Mexico and the Spanish language, so I think that's why that's that. Next we have casaba, noun from 1887. Any of several winter melons with usually yellow rind and sweet white, yellow, or orange flesh. Casaba is from the casaba word with a K, which is from Turkey. It says now Turgutlu. So would it be the Turgutlu area from Turkey? I don't know, maybe. Next we have Casanova with a capital C. Noun from 1852. The synonym is just the word lover, but then it says, especially a man who is a promiscuous and unscrupulous lover. So I guess some people would define that. I would also say the way that I think about a Casanova would be one who is very good at convincing people or making people want to be with them in a romantic way. Something like that. And this is from a person, Giacomo Girolamo Casanova. I mean, I guess it makes sense that it's from a person, but I never really thought about that. So what did this person do? What were they so promiscuous? Were they What happened? Why? We have to learn more about this. Giacomo Girolamo Casanova. They were promiscuous. Moving on to Kasbah with a C or a K. Noun from 1844. 1. A North African castle or fortress. Number 2. The native section of a North African city. And this is from the Arabic dialect word Kasbah, Qasba. And I've heard this word used a lot, but I don't think I ever fully understood what it was. But yeah, it's a castle or a fortress or a city. And then, because I'm a child of the 80s, I have to say, rock the Kasbah, rock the Kasbah. That's a good 80s song. And I'm a fan of saxophones, and there is a saxophone group. I think they're called the Nuclear Whale Saxophone Orchestra, and I think they have a song that has Kasbah in there, but I can't think of what it is called off the top of my head. Let's see. Can we find it? Do I have it on my phone? Does this matter? No, it doesn't. Okay, that's fine. We'll find it later. Okay, next we have Cascabel. Cascabel, noun from 1639. 1. A projection behind the breech of a muzzle-loading cannon. 2. A small, hollow, perforated spherical bell enclosing a loose pellet. This is a Spanish word, and it literally means small bell. A cascabel. Next is cascade, first form, noun from 1641. 1. A steep, usually small fall of water, especially one of a series. There's a whole series of these small waterfalls. Number 2A, something arranged or occurring in a series or in a succession of stages so that each stage derives from or acts upon the product of the preceding. As in, blood clotting involves a biochemical cascade. One thing happens, and then another thing happens, and then another thing happens, and then another thing happens. It's like that. 2B, a fall of material, as lace, that hangs in a zigzag line. 3. Something falling or rushing forth in quantity, as in a cascade of sound. Also as in a cascade of events. My voice is getting very raw, and so good thing we're almost done. This is from Italian cascata, from cascare, which means to fall, and from Latin casus, which means fall. Second form of cascade is a verb from 1702, intransitive, to fall, pour, or rush in or as if in a cascade. Transitive, 1. To cause to fall like a cascade. 2. To connect in a cascade arrangement. Next we have cascara. It looks like mascara, but it's cascara, something like that. Noun from 1879. 1. The synonym is cascara buckthorn. And number 2, the synonym is cascara sagrada. And those are actually both of the next words. But this is from Spanish cascara, which means husk or bark, probably from cascar, which means to crack or break. From Vulgar Latin quasicare, which means to shake. From Latin quasare, and there's more at the word quash. So what is a cascara buckthorn? It is a noun from circa 1900, a buckthorn of the Pacific coast of the U.S. yielding cascara sagrada. And the scientific name is Rhamnus pursiana. And then cascara sagrada is a noun from 1885, the dried bark of cascara buckthorn used as a laxative. And this is an American Spanish word, cascara sagrada, and it literally means sacred bark. So you got the cascara buckthorn, and it has on it cascara sagrada, and it's all just cascara. And our last word is cascarilla or cascarilla. 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 Noun from 1686. The aromatic bark of a West Indian shrub of the spurge family, used especially for making incense and as a tonic. Also, this shrub. The scientific name is Croton eleuteria. It is a Spanish word. It is a diminutive of cascara, so it's cascarilla. So we had carvel-built, carven, carving, car wash, carry, caryatid, caryopsis, cas, casa, casaba, casanova, casba, cascabel, cascade, cascara, cascara. They see in English we say cascara. Cascara buckthorn, cascara sagrada, and cascarilla. I think I shall pick. Oh, where did it go? I think I shall pick casa as the word of the episode because mi casa su casa. Mi casa su casa. Let us all use that phrase to be more inviting and loving with our fellow neighbors. Yep, sometimes we go there. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. What's up, word nerds? Welcome to the dictionary. Let's see, we are at the top of page 191. It is March 2nd in Sri Lanka. It is Air Force Day. In Balochistan, I've never heard of Balochistan. It is Balok Culture Day. It's still Lent. It is the Feast of Allah in Baha'i. It is in Libya, Jamairia Day. In Myanmar, it is Peasants' Day. In Ethiopia, it is Victory at Adwa Day. It is also Texas Independence Day. They're still not their own country, but maybe they were independent from, I think, was it Mexico? Boy. And then it is also Read Across America Day. So go read some stuff. Speaking of, I'm going to read you 1/4 of this page. The first word is case, C-A-S-E. First form, noun, from the 13th century. There's a bunch. 1A, a set of circumstances or conditions, as in the statement true in all three cases. A set of circumstances or conditions. 1B1, a situation requiring investigation or action, as by the police. 1B2, the object of investigation or consideration. 2, synonym is condition, specifically, condition of body or mind. Number 3, so 3 has its own etymology, so 3A says, an inflectional form of a noun, pronoun, or adjective indicating its grammatical relation to other words. I can't think of an example, but the case of that thing, anyway. 3B, such a relation whether indicated by inflection or not. 4, what actually exists or happens. What actually exists or happens? I don't know. Do you know what actually exists or happens? And the synonym is the word fact. Not truth, not fiction, fact. I mean, truth is fact, sort of. As in, thought he had failed, but that wasn't the case. 5A, a suit or action in law or equity. 5B1, the evidence supporting a conclusion or judgment. 5B2, synonym is argument, especially a convincing argument, as in, makes a good case for adopting the proposal. 6A, an instance of disease or injury, as in, a case of pneumonia. You don't want a case of that. And then also the synonym patient. Oh, wait, did I? Yeah, that's correct. 6B, an instance that directs attention to a situation or exhibits it in action. Synonym is example. 6C, a peculiar person. Synonym is character. A case? Wow, what is that? A character? A case? I don't know. I don't think I've come across that one. I don't think I've come across that case. 7, oneself considered as an object of harassment or criticism, as in, get off my case. It's a very versatile word. Then we have a synonym for everything. It is the word instance. And we have a couple phrases. In any case means without regard to or in spite of other considerations, whatever else is done or is the case. The word is in the definition. It's a phrase. It's okay. I'll let this one slide. As in, war is inevitable in any case. Also as in any case, the report will be made public next month. We have another phrase, in case, and that means as a precaution. As in, took an umbrella just in case. I very much like this example because, you gotta cover your bases. You never know what's going to happen. If you bring the umbrella, it's not going to rain. If you don't have it, it is going to rain. So you might as well just bring it just in case. And then our last phrase, in case of, means in the event of. As in case of trouble, yell. The etymology says this is from Middle English, cas or case with no E, from the Latin casus, which means fall or chance, from cadere, which means to fall, and there's more at the word chance. And then the number 3 definition, the only difference in the etymology is from Greek, ptosis, which literally means fall. Okay, second form of case is a noun from the 14th century. 1a, a box or receptacle for holding something. What is in it? 1b, a box together with its contents. 1c, synonym is set, specifically the synonym pair. So it's a set of things is a case, but more specifically, it's often just a pair of things. 2a, an outer covering or housing, as in a pastry case. A pastry case. Speaking of, I think yesterday was National Croissant Day, and I did not ever get around to having a croissant. But today, as I'm recording this, it is National Hot Chocolate Day, so I made myself a hot chocolate, and I got it sitting right there, and it's wonderful. It's very warm, so I got all sweaty. I started drinking it right away. But I also got some water to help get rid of whatever phlegminess the hot chocolate might create. These are things you do not need to know. Okay, where were we? 2b, a tube in which the components of a round of ammunition are loaded. 3, a divided tray for holding printing type. 4, the frame of a door or window. Synonym is casing. This is from Anglo-French casque or chase, from the Latin capsa, which means chest or case, probably from capere, which means to take. And there's more at the word heave. Third form of case is a verb from 1575, and I think it's just transitive. 1, bless you. 1, to enclose in or cover with or as if with a case. Synonym is in case, and that's one word with an E-N, E-N-C-A-S-E. 2, to line, as a well, with supporting material, as a metal pipe. So to line with supporting material. And then there are examples. 3, to inspect or study, especially with intent to rob. Like, I'm going to go case the joint. Let's see what's going on. I gotta rob it. Next is caseation. Caseation, noun from 1866. This is not a good thing. Necrosis or necrosis with conversion of damaged tissue into a soft, cheesy substance? Yuck. Is this literally talking about the tissue on a body and it dies and then it becomes cheesy? This is literally from the Latin word caseus, which means cheese. Yuck. Caseate is an intransitive verb. It's when caseation is happening. Okay, moving on to case bearer. One word, sorry. It's 2 words made into one word. Noun from circa 1889. An insect larva that forms a protective case, as of silk. I thought that this would be the person who is taking the box of the Oscar winners in a case, and they are the case bearer. Next is case book, one word, noun from 1762. 1, a book containing records of illustrative cases that is used for reference and instruction, as in law or medicine. It's the book that's filled with all the cases of the things that they got to study. 2. A compilation of primary and secondary documents relating to a central topic together with scholarly comment, exercises, and study aids that is designed to serve as a sourcebook for short papers or as a point of departure for a research paper. And then the example of short papers is as in a writing course. Next is cased glass. 2 words. Cased has an ED. Noun from 1851. Glass consisting of 2 or more fused layers of different colors, often decorated by cutting so that the inner layers show through. Called also just case glass with no D. And then lastly, today, we have case goods. 2 words, noun from 1922. 1. Furniture that provides interior storage space. Also, dining room and bedroom furniture sold as sets. And the example of this furniture would be bureaus or bookcases. There's case again. And then number 2, products often sold by the case. So we had case, caseation, case bearer, case book, cased glass, and case goods. As usual, the word case now sounds very, very weird, but we're going to see it about more than halfway through the next episode, too. What am I going to pick? Well, I don't know. The one that really jumped out at me the most was definitely caseation, where your tissues die and turn into cheese. How do we do that? I like cheese and it gets kind of moldy. And if it happens to your body, it's called caseation. All right, that's good for that. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. What is up with you? I hope you are doing very, very well today. It is March. I am recording this in January. Time doesn't exist. I'm going to skip the holidays until the end because I forgot that I was going to do that. So, let's get to the words first. That's what you're here for, right? The first word is case harden. 2 words with a hyphen. This is a transitive verb from 1677. 1, to harden, so that the surface layer is harder than the interior. And the example is a ferrous alloy. It's an alloy that is ferrous, and it hardens, but the inside is not hard. It's very soft, like my guts. Number 2, to make callous or insensible. Case hardened is an adjective. What are some other things that could be case hardened? I'm thinking of foods. What is a hard food? There's chocolate with or like chocolate covered cherries. The outside is hard, but the inside is all gooey. I remember one time we were over at my aunt and uncle's house. Could have been for Hanukkah or something. And there were some chocolates, and somebody, I think it was my uncle, took a bite. He didn't put the whole thing in his mouth, which he obviously should have done. He didn't know there was anything inside. He took a bite, and the inside, the cherry, the juices, whatever it was, just like squirted all over the place. And I think got onto their nice white carpet. But yeah, I just remember that. Okay, that was a case-hardened, chocolate-covered, cherry, juicy thing. Next is case history. 2 words, noun from 1894. A record of history, environment, and relevant details of a case, especially for use in analysis or illustration. And that goes back to case book in the last episode. That would be a thing that goes into a case book. Next is casein or casein. You could emphasize either syllable. It is spelled C-A-S-E-I-N, casein. Noun from 1841. Let's see, there's no numbers, just an A and a B, plus a section before that. So it is a phosphoprotein of milk. That is the main thing. And then we have A, one that is precipitated from milk by heating with an acid or by the action of lactic acid in souring, and is used in making paints and adhesives. And I think that they also put this in cheese often. And then B, one that is produced when milk, well, this would be the cheese one. One that is produced when milk is curdled by rennet, R-E-N-N-E-T, is the chief constituent of cheese and is used in making plastics. Oh yes, I definitely want the thing that is in plastics also in my cheese. When I went vegan, I learned about casein and rennet and how I got to watch out for those. I can't have those. And this is from, just like caseation in our last episode, this is from the Latin caseus, which means cheese. So it's very clearly related to cheese. It is also from the French word. How would you pronounce this? Casein? Casein. I don't know. It's got an accent over the middle e, or the e in the middle, I should say. So that is casein, and then relatedly, next we have caseinate or caseinate. You could emphasize the C, which doesn't seem, I would much rather say caseinate. So it is the word casein with an ATE at the end. This is a noun from 1904, a compound of casein with a metal, as calcium or sodium. So, yeah, that's more about the A definition. Paints and adhesives, I guess. Metal. How metal is in? I don't know. Okay, next we have case in point. 3 words from 1722. An illustrative, relevant, or pertinent case. Illustrative, relevant, or pertinent case. Next is case knife, like the knife that you use to cut your food. Noun from 1673. 1. The synonym is sheath knife. And then number 2 is just a table knife. It's a case knife. Why is it called a case knife? You don't put your table knife into a case. You put a sheath knife into a case. That's what a sheath is. A sheath is a case. But why is a table knife a case knife? Next is case law. 2 words, noun from 1861. Law established by judicial decision in cases. Next is caseload. 1 word, noun from 1938. The number of cases handled, usually in a particular period. And the example is as by a court or clinic. The number of cases handled by a court or clinic. Also, a student. A student has a caseload. How many, maybe you'd say class load, but no, I think I've heard people say caseload. Maybe not. I'm probably making stuff up. Next is casemate. 1 word, noun from 1575. A fortified position or chamber or an armored enclosure on a warship from which guns are fired through embrasures. I'm guessing embrasures are like holes in the wall. It is a casemate. Okay, this is from Old Italian casamata. Next is casement. Noun from the 15th century. A window sash that opens on hinges at the side. It's a window sash that opens on hinges at the side. Also, a window with such a sash. Such a sash, that is. It's a casement. I don't know. This is a Middle English, and it means hollow molding. Opens on hinges. I don't know. Why can't I think of what this looks like? Maybe I should find an example and post it. Okay, will do. Next is caseous. Adjective from 1661, marked by caseation. That is, that's that nasty word from the last episode. Marked by caseation, it is caseous. When your skin is dying, it is caseous because it is going through caseation. And then we also have the number 1 definition for the word cheesy. I still don't like the idea of my tissues turning into cheese. And again, this is from that Latin word caseus, which means cheese. Next, we have casern. Casern? I think that's how you pronounce it. Casern. Casern, or you could put an E at the end. This is a noun from 1696, a military barracks in a garrison town. This is a French word. Casern. Next is case study. 2 words, noun from 1875. 1, an intensive analysis of an individual unit, stressing developmental factors in relation to environment. And the example is a person or a community. That is the individual unit. And then number 2, synonym is case history. Case study, that just gets used in science a lot. Next is case system. 2 words, noun from circa 1889. A system of teaching law in which in which instruction is chiefly on the basis of leading or selected cases as primary authorities instead of from textbooks, and then called also case method. Next is casework. This is our last case word. Case word, casework. Noun from 1886. Social work involving direct consideration of the problems, needs, and adjustments of the individual case as a person or family. And then caseworker is a noun. And we are actually on our last word, but there's four forms. Four forms. The first form of this word is the word cash, I should probably say. Noun from 1593. 1, ready money. Ready money? Does that mean money that's at the ready? Ready money. Okay. Number 2, money or its equivalent paid for goods or services at the time of purchase or delivery. And then the example of the equivalent, I can't say that word, would be a check. I don't think people use checks nearly as often these days as they used to. This is from, Middle French, casse. I don't know how to pronounce it. C-A-S-S-E, casse. That means money box. From Old Italian, casa, from Latin capsa, which means chest, and there's more at the word case. So it got its name from the thing that it was in, basically. It was a case, became cash, and then cash became the stuff that was in the cash, the case. Second form of cash is an adjective. From 1622, being a method of accounting that includes as income only what has been received and as expenses only those paid. Did that make sense? Probably. And then it says compare to the word accrual. Being a method of accounting that includes as income only what has been received and as expenses only those paid. I don't know, my brain just sort of shut down on that one. Third form of cash is a verb, a transitive verb from 1811. 1, to pay or obtain cash for, as in cash a check. The check can be considered cash, but I want real cash for the check. So please take my check and give me some cash. Please take my check and give me some cash. I want the cash from the check, please. I don't know, that was close enough for a song. Number 2, to lead and win a bridge trick with. It ends with with. So the definition is to lead and win a bridge trick with. That was hard to say. And the example is a card that is the highest remaining card of its suit. I don't play cash. I don't play bridge. There should be a game called Cash. I don't play bridge, so I don't know this one. And then cashable is an adjective. And then our fourth form of cash is our very last one for this episode. It is a noun from 1598. Number 1, any of various coins of small value in China and southern India, especially a Chinese coin with a square hole in the center. And there is a picture of this. You've probably seen these. They have, it's round. There's a square hole. The outer half of it looks fairly smooth, but then the inside portion between that smoother part and the square, there are 4 Chinese characters. I don't know what they mean. Maybe I should find out. Maybe they're different. They're probably different on different coins. Some are worth more and some are worth less, so that's probably what that is. I didn't know these were called cash. That's so interesting. And then number 2, a unit of value equivalent to 1 cash. So even though this is used in China and India, this is from a few different words. Portuguese, caixa, they probably say caixa, C-A-I-X-A. Also from Tamil, the word kaku, K-A-C-U. Again, I don't pronounce these well. And that is a small copper coin. From Sanskrit, karsa, with a K, and that is a weight of gold or silver. So this word goes all over the world, and it means basically like a coin. That's cool. So we had case harden, case history, casein, caseinate, case in point, case knife, case law, case load, case mate, casement, caseus, Concern, case study, case system, case work, and cache. Well, what do I got to pick? I don't know. It seems weird, but I was kind of tempted to pick case study. I don't know, just because those are important when you're doing scientific studies of things. I don't know. I don't think there was anything. People would probably want me to pick cash, but I'm not into that. Let's not pick cash. That's very capitalistic. Anyway, you know what? It's the end of the episode, so if you're done with the words, you can turn me off. We've got it's still Lent in Japan. It is Hinamatsuri, which is also called Girls' Day. So that's a good thing to celebrate. We need to celebrate women in general. In Charlottesville, Virginia, that's very specific, it is Liberation and Freedom Day. In Bulgaria, it is also Liberation Day. In Malawi, it is Martyrs' Day. In Georgia, I'm guessing that's the country Georgia, it's Mother's Day. In Egypt, it is Sportsman Day. In Lebanon, it is Teacher's Day. It is also World Hearing Day. So what about those who can't hear? And then it is World Wildlife Day as well. No, those are both good ones. Let's see, what did I say for Bulgaria? Liberation Day, yep. It's also called Liberation from the Ottoman Domination. So I think that's good for that. We are going to end this episode. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Bonjour, word nerds. I tried to say that as best I could, but it was pretty bad. Hello, how are you doing? Let's talk about these words. The first word is cash and carry. It is 3 words with hyphens, cash and carry. This is also the first form. Adjective from 1917. Sold or provided for cash and usually without delivery service. Sorry, no delivery service for you. No, there was a little burp because I just had some water. Second form of cash and carry is a noun from 1921, the policy of selling on a cash and carry basis. Next is cash bar, 2 words, noun from 1968, a bar at which drinks are sold, and then it says compared to the word open bar. Open bar, you don't need cash. Cash bar, you do need cash. The example where this bar is could be a reception. So, you got to find, if you're going to go to a wedding or something like that, you got to find out. This is a common question that people have. Is it a cash bar? Is it an open bar? Are you going to judge the people depending on the answer that you get? Some people might. That's okay. If it's a cash bar, make sure to bring some cash, some money, some of those Chinese and Indian coins. Now, you think they'll accept that cash? I mean, it's technically cash, but they probably won't. Okay, next is cash book, 1 word, noun from 1606, a book in which record is kept of all cash receipts and disbursements. Next is cash cow, 2 words, noun from 1979. Oh, I was going to say for cash bar, it started in 1968, so does that mean that all the receptions, parties, weddings, whatever before that were always open bars? Or were they all cash bars and because they were all cash bars, they didn't need to call it as a cash bar. It was just a bar and you needed cash. So which happened in 1968? Did open bars happen in 1968 or did cash bars happen in 1968? I don't know. Should I look this up? Yes. Am I going to? I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, so cash cow. 1, a consistently profitable business, property, or product whose profits are used to finance a company's investments in other areas. This podcast is not a cash cow. 2, it's just a cow. 2, one regarded or exploited as a reliable source of money, as in a singer deemed a cash cow for the record label. Next is cash crop. 2 words, noun from 1868, a readily saleable crop produced or gathered primarily for market. And the examples are cotton or tobacco, because people want and need their cotton and tobacco. I think it would be great if instead of tobacco here they put tobacco, which is from The Simpsons. Next we have cash discount, noun from 1917, a discount granted in consideration of immediate payment or payment within a prescribed time. Next is cashew. By the way, all of these words in this episode start with cash, but obviously not all of them are related to money, like cashew. Noun from 1598. A tropical American tree grown for a phenolic oil, and the edible kernel of its oil, and for a gum from its stem. They make gum from the stem of the cashew plant? Okay. And then also just the synonym cashew nut. This is, the American tree scientific name is Anacardium occidentale, and that is of the family Anacardillaceae. That is the cashew family. How many members are in this family? This is from the Portuguese word caju or acaju. The first one is spelled C-A-J-U. I wonder if that actually becomes more of a sh sound. So is it cashew? Maybe it could be cashew. And then the other one just had an A at the beginning. It is also from the Tupi word acaju, A-K-A-J-U. So yeah, Tupi in Portuguese must be related somehow back in the day. Cashews are good. I like them. We use them. What do we use them in? We use them sometimes to make stuff. Okay, next we have cashew nut. So we are getting more specific. Noun from 1796. The kidney-shaped kernel of the fruit of the cashew that is edible when roasted. So it's not edible before it's roasted? Next is cashew flow. Oh, look at the flow of cashews going into my mouth. No, it is cash flow. That makes much more sense. 2 words. Noun from 1954. 1. A measure of an organization's liquidity that usually consists of net income after taxes plus non-cash charges against income. 2. A flow of cash, especially one that provides solvency. Next is cashier. First form, verb, just a transitive verb from 1592. 1. To dismiss from service, especially to dismiss dishonorably. Cashier? I've never heard it used that way. And then number 2, the synonyms are reject and discard. So the etymology says this is from the Dutch word casseren, from Middle French casser, which means to discharge or annul. And there's more at the word quash. Quashier. Maybe that's where something happened there. I don't know. Cashier. Okay. But then the second form of cashier, this is a noun from 1593, one that has charge of money. And then we have A, B, and C. As A high officer in a bank or trust company responsible for monies received and expended. B, one who collects and records payments. And C, an employee, as in a store, who handles monetary transactions. If you've ever worked retail, you have probably been a cashier. This is from the Dutch word cassier with a K, from Middle French cassier with a C, from a cas, C-A-S-S-E, which means money box. Next is cashier's check, and cashier's has an apostrophe S. It's the check that is owned by the cashier, sort of, maybe, not really. This is a noun from 1867, a check drawn by a bank, it's made by a bank, on its own funds and signed by the cashier. I still don't understand what those are. Okay, next is cash in, 2 words, verb from 1888, starting with transitive, there's just one, to obtain cash for, as in cashed in the bonds. And then intransitive, 1A, to retire from a gambling game. I'm done, I have finished, I am quitting while I am ahead, or I'm quitting while I'm very far behind, and I don't want to get more behind, so I am cashing in. Give me that cash. 1B, to settle accounts and withdraw from an involvement as a business deal. Number 2, to obtain advantage or financial profit. And this is often used with the word on, as in cash in on a bestseller. Next is cashless, something that we don't want to be and something that many people are, and we should try and fix that. This is an adjective from 1731, not having or involving cash, specifically relying largely or entirely on monetary transactions that use electronic means rather than cash. No cash here, it's all cards. We're cashless. We are gradually becoming cashless, which I think in a lot of ways is good, but also a lot of ways it's bad. Yeah. Anyway, cash is dirty. Just don't forget that. Cash is very, very dirty. Next is cashmere. 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 Noun from 1684. 1. Fine wool from the undercoat of the cashmere goat. Also, a yarn of this wool. 2. A soft twilled fabric made originally from cashmere. And it's from the word cashmere, which also is spelled Kashmir. So it's the cashmere goat. I wonder if there was also a location. Is this the location cashmere? I feel like it might be. I should probably look into that one. But there is also the cashmere goat. Oh, that's our next word, cashmere goat. 2 words. See, I do look ahead at the beginning, but after that, I just forget all of it and I don't look ahead. So I am as shocked as you are when I see the next word. This is a noun from 1850. An Indian goat raised especially for its undercoat of fine, soft wool that constitutes the cashmere wool of commerce. I had a feeling cashmere was in India, but I wasn't sure, so I kept my mouth shut. And then lastly, we have cash out. Earlier, we had cash in. Now we have cash out. Verb. Verb from 1971. First is transitive. To convert to cash. And the example of what you're converting is non-cash assets. And the example is cash out stocks. And then, oh boy, right now as I'm recording this, we're in the middle of that whole GameStop stock thing with Robinhood and hedge funds. And I think a lot of people are cashing out on their GameStop stocks after the price went way, way up. Okay, the intransitive verb definition says to convert non-cash assets to cash. And then cash out with a hyphen is a noun. So we had cash and carry, cash bar, cash book, cash cow, cash crop, cash discount, cashew, cashew nut, cash flow, cashier, cashier's check, cash in, cashless, cashmere, cashmere goat, and cash out. What do we want to pick? I don't know. Let's pick the cashew nut. Let's pick cashew as the word of the episode. I shall post a picture of the cashew nut, but I'll do cashew as the word of the episode. Oh, cashew, I love you. You're so great. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, it's holiday time. Let's talk about some holidays super fast. There's not a lot. We're still in Lent. In Poland and Lithuania, it is, well, this is ironic. This is interesting. It is Saint Casimir's Day, which is very similar to Kashmir. Not exactly the same, but it's close. And, there's not a lot going on March 4th. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to this Every Single Day podcast. Every single day. Oops, I messed up this thing here. Let's fix that. Okay. All right, the first word is cash register. 2 words, noun from 1879. A business machine. I don't know why I found that funny. It's a business machine that usually has a money drawer, indicates the amount of each sale, and records the amount of money received. Cash registers have changed lots and very much. Yes. Speak clearly, dummy. Cash registers have changed a lot over the years. They used to be those cool old things that were very decorative and had the little things that would pop up. I think those are very cool. But now they're pretty much just iPads or something like that. Very simple. We have gone cashless mostly. That's what that whole thing is about. All right. Next is cash strapped. 2 words with a hyphen, adjective from 1973, lacking sufficient money. I'm not quite cashless, but I am cash-strapped. Whoa. Had a little thing in my throat happen. Okay. Next is casing, noun from 1791, casing, 1. Something that encases. Material for encasing, as 1a, an enclosing frame, especially around a door or window opening. 1b, a metal pipe used to case a well. 1c, we have the number 2 definition for the 4th form of the word tire, Tire. 1d, a membranous case for processed meat. Membranous. Number 2, a space formed between 2 parallel lines of stitching through at least 2 layers of cloth into which something may be inserted, and that something could be a rod or a string. Next is casino, noun. Oh, for some reason I was inspired to see if I can say this word backwards. Casino, Wonisak. Casino, Wonisak. I think that's right. Let's play it backwards. Casino. Noun from 1744. 1. A building or room used for social amusements. Social amusements. Specifically, one used for gambling. There are no clocks or windows in casinos. There's no windows in casinos. There's no windows in casinos. I don't know, it sort of rhymed. Number 2, you could spell it with 2 S's for this one. I had no idea about that. What is it? It is a card game in which cards are won by matching or combining cards in a hand with those exposed on the table. So it's like Go Fish? I don't know. Maybe we should find out how to play this game, Casino. And then number 3 is the number 2 definition for the word summer house. Summer house? You call your summer house a casino? Okay. Well, actually, the etymology makes more sense here. It is from Italian, or it is Italian, from the word casa, which means house, from the Latin word that means cottage. So a casino. Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Why the card game is named Casino? Not sure about that. Let's see. Is that going to be in the next page? Let's see. Probably not, because they already talked about it here. No, I don't think so. So yeah, casino is it's a house for social amusements. That's what it is. Next is casita, noun from 1868, a small house. It's a casa, but you add the ito or ita at the end, and it becomes small. Casita. This is a Spanish diminutive of casa. Next is cask, C-A-S-K, noun from the 15th century. 1. A barrel-shaped vessel of staves, headings, and hoops, usually for liquids. 2. A cask and its contents. Also, the quantity contained in a cask. The quantity contained in a cask. Lots of k sounds. This is from Middle French, casque, with a Q-U-E, which means, of all things, helmet. They maybe put liquids in your helmet. From the Spanish casco, which means potsherd? Potsherd? Okay. Or skull or helmet. What is a potsherd? Also skull and helmet. So it's just a thing that holds stuff. Next is casket. This is another thing that holds stuff. Noun from the 15th century. 1. A small chest or box. As for jewels. Oh, but I really now want to see a jewelry box that's in the shape of a casket. Number 2, a usually fancy coffin. And then casket is also a transitive verb. Yeah, I mean, what is the difference between a casket and a coffin? It says it's a fancy coffin, but well, okay. Maybe if you throw some jewels on it, maybe it is. Yeah, that's good. Next is cask again, but this one is spelled C-A-S-Q-U-E, which was actually the Middle French spelling from where that word came from. So this is probably similar. Cask, noun from 1580. 1. A piece of armor for the head. Ah, see, that's where it is connected. And then the synonym is helmet. I think now in football and stuff, they should put on their casque. They shouldn't say helmet. Number 2, an anatomical structure suggestive of a helmet. And the example is the horny outgrowth on the head of a cassowary. That is a bird. I think I know which bird this is, but yeah, they've got a big ol' strong bony thing on the head, which I don't know if they use it to headbutt other cassowaries, but that would be quite a sight, I think. So that is casque. Next is Cassandra or Cassandra with a capital C. Noun from 1542. 1. A daughter of Priam, endowed with the gift of prophecy, but fated never to be believed. Oh, that's terrible. Priam is capital Priam. Can you imagine being able to tell people the future and tell people things that you shouldn't know, but that nobody believes you? You'd be so depressed. There's always bad things that come with the good, and maybe good things that come with the bad. Number 2, one that predicts misfortune or disaster. Similar but different. Next is cassava, noun from 1555. Any of several American plants of the spurge family grown in the tropics for their edible tuberous roots, which yield a nutritious starch. And then also just the root. And then compare to the number 1 definition for the word tapioca. This is from Spanish cazabe, which is cassava bread, from the Taino word cacabi or casabi, probably casabi. That is that. Next we have casserole. You could also say casserole if you want to get that Z sound in there. Casserole. Noun from 1708. 1. A dish in which food may be baked and served. So anything that is baked in a dish could be called a casserole. Number 2. Food cooked and served in a casserole. That is the dish. 3. A deep, round, usually porcelain dish with a handle used for heating substances in the laboratory. You throw some noodles and sauce in there. What else is in the laboratory that they're cooking it up? This is French, means saucepan. From the word casa, which means ladle or dripping pan. From, let's see, Greek, kiathos, which means ladle. Next is cassette, Cassette, or you can spell it with one S. Noun from 1793. 1, we have the first definition for the word casket, which is the thing that holds jewels, like that. That would be an example. Number 2, a usually flat case or cartridge that can be easily loaded or unloaded, as 2A, a light-proof cartridge containing, I skipped a line. A light-proof magazine for holding film or plates for use in a camera. 2B, a plastic cartridge containing magnetic tape with the tape passing from one reel to another. And then number 3, a cassette tape player. I grew up with cassettes. We went from vinyl to cassettes to CDs, and then now for some reason cassettes are coming back, even though I'm pretty sure the audio quality is much worse than anything else that we've got. It's just a nostalgia thing. It's very strange to get to a certain age and then the things from when you were a kid come back, or it's just interesting to see how all that evolves. Why are cassettes coming back? There's no reason. This is from, it's a French word, casse, which means case. It's like a little case, cassette. And then our last word is kasha. I think that's how it's pronounced. Cassia, noun from before the 12th century. 1, a dried, coarse cinnamon bark. As from the scientific name, Cinnamomum cassia or kasha. Cinnamomum cassia. Number 2, any of a genus of leguminous herbs, shrubs, and trees of warm regions. And the genus name is Kasha again. This is from the Greek word kassia or kasha with a K, of Semitic origin, akin to the Hebrew word, it's probably pronounced kassia or kasha, but it is spelled Q-E-S-I-A-H, and there's a bunch of accents and lines and things that I do not understand. But that is a Hebrew word, and that means kasha or kassia. It's a cinnamon bark. Okay, so we had cash register, cash strapped, casein, casino, casita, cask, casket, cask, Cassandra, cassava, casserole, cassette, and kasha. Well, maybe we should pick casserole as the word of the episode. You can make anything into a casserole. Whatever you want, you put it in a dish, you bake it, you can call it a casserole. Get creative, have fun with it. I guess it is the time that I should read some holidays. There's not a whole lot going on. It's still Lent in Vanuatu. What's Vanuatu? It's the Republic of Vanuatu. It's east of Australia. Thank you, Internet. In Vanuatu, it is Custom Chiefs Day. In Azerbaijan, it is Day of Physical Culture and Sport. Yes, let's go. Let's get physical. In China, it is Learn from Li Feng Day. And in Cornwall, it is St. Piran's Day. And is there anything else? In Canada, UK, and the US, it is Employee Appreciation Day. So I hope you're being appreciated today. And if you are the boss, I hope you are appreciating your employees today. And in Peru, it is Founding of Trujillo Anniversary. So that's good for that. We have finished page 191. Thank you for putting up with all of this nonsense. Please rate and review and subscribe and share. I do get reviews maybe once or twice a month, but hey, I would love to hear some more. I'd love to get some more. I want to know what you got to think. And if you want to leave me a voicemail, all that information, the number is in the episode notes. I got different social medias and an email in there as well. If you want to send me a message, that would be great and wonderful. And then tomorrow, we will be starting page 192 out of lots and lots of pages. All right, thank you very much. Oh, and I think we may have a guest coming up soon. Probably sometime in the next week or two, I hope. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the Dictionary Podcast. Every time I record, I do this usually on the weekend, and, it feels like, oh, it's new. It's a new time. It's been like 6 days since I recorded. But for you, it's only been one day. You just had an episode yesterday. Let's see. So we are at the top of page 192, and today is March 6th. I will tell you some holidays and things at the end of the episode, because most of you, I don't think, care. The first word is Casimir. C-A-S-S-I-M-E-R-E. Casimir or Casimir. This is a noun from 1774. A closely woven, smooth, twilled, usually wool fabric. As for suits, they often use it for suits. And then this is from the obsolete casimir, which means cashmere. And we talked about that recently. There was a cashmere something like that. There's cashmere goat. That's not what it was. Anyway, next is Cassiopeia. Capital C-A-S-S-I-O-P-E-I-A. So many vowels in that word. This is a noun from 1596. 1. The wife of King Cepheus, who gives birth to Andromeda and is later changed into a constellation. Well, changed into a constellation. How did they get up there? How did they become a constellation? Andromeda, there is the Andromeda Galaxy, I think, that's way out there. I don't know if that's the closest galaxy, but I'm familiar with that. And then we have number 2, a northern constellation between, it's between Andromeda and Cepheus. Are Andromeda and Cepheus constellations? I don't know. I feel like I heard Andromeda is a galaxy. Maybe we should look more into this. But anyway, you can see them in the night sky, and Cassiopeia is in between Andromeda and Cepheus, which is, by the way, spelled Cepheus, Cepheus. And let's see. So Cassiopeia is the wife of Cepheus. Andromeda. I think that Andromeda should be in between Cepheus and Cassiopeia because they are the ones that created Andromeda. But that's just my 2 cents. It means nothing. All right, and I think this is all from Greek mythology because this is from the Greek word Cassiopeia with a K. I'm guessing the Greeks had no letter C because it's always K. Moving on to cassis, Cassis, noun from 1899, a syrupy liquor of low alcoholic strength made from black currants and used chiefly as a flavoring and sweetening agent. Is it currant or currant? Maybe we'll find out at the end of the C's. Cassis. This is a French word, and it literally means black currants, perhaps from the Latin word cassia. That is cassis. Next is cassiterite. Cassiterite, noun from 1858, a brown or black mineral that consists of tin dioxide and is the chief source of metallic tin, called also tin stone. This is from the French word cassiterite, from the Greek word kassiteros, which means tin. It's all about tin. Next is cassock, Cassock. It's like you got a sock on your foot and it's a cast sock. Noun from 1631, a close-fitting ankle-length garment worn especially in Roman Catholic and Anglican churches by the clergy and by laypersons assisting in services. Oh, I so wish this were a sock. I mean, it is ankle-length, but so is there a connection there? Probably not. I think it's probably just a big robe or something. I should know this. I should. Let's find a picture. But yeah, socks can be ankle length too. So, it goes up to the length of this. It goes up to the sock, and then there's just a regular sock below that. I don't know why I'm so focused on this sock thing. This is from the Middle French word cassaque, Cassaque. Okay, next we have cassoulet. This is a French word, very fancy French word. Cassoulet, cassoulet. Noun from circa 1929. That was almost 100 years ago. A casserole of white beans baked with herbs and meat, as pork, lamb, and goose or duck. And this is French, obviously. From the Occitan, it literally means earthenware dish, which is a diminutive of cassolot, with a solo at the end. That means dish. It is also a diminutive of casso, which means ladle, from the Old Occitan casa. So it is the dish that it is baked in. So you just it's just like casserole, right? Casserole is the dish that the casserole is baked in. Cassoulet, casserole. You can put whatever you want in there, and you can still call it a cassoulet. Next we have cassowary. This is a noun from 1611, any of a genus of large ratite birds, ratite birds chiefly of New Guinea and northern Australia that have a horny casque on the head and are closely related to the emu. Oh, and I think we read, we read casque, let's see, was that the last episode? I don't know, it's been 6 days since I recorded. Yes, casque is a helmet, a piece of armor, the anatomical structure of the cassowary. So the cassowary has a casque. This is a Malay word, cassowary, Kesuari, from the Austronesian language. Oh, Malay is the Austronesian language of the Moluccas. I don't know if Malay is... No, I think the word comes from the Austronesian language of the Moluccas. I don't think that's what Malay is. Anyway, it's the cassowary. We'll post a picture. Maybe I'll try and remember to post the picture for this day and not yesterday when we had the word casque. Okay, here we have our last word. It takes up half of this section. It is the word cast, C-A-S-T. It is the first form, and the second form is equally as long, and that will be in the next episode. So this one is a verb from the 13th century. starting with transitive. 1A, to cause to move or send forth by throwing, as in cast a fishing lure. Also, cast dice. I've never heard of cast dice. You throw dice, right? Throw dice, toss dice, roll dice, shuffle dice. No, you don't shuffle dice. Yeah, okay, I guess people say cast dice. I'm going to cast the dice to the wind. 1B, synonym is direct, as in cast a glance. Let's see, 1C1, to put forth, as in the fires casts a warm glow. The fire casts, I think I said fires. It's just one fire, not two fires. Also, as in cast light on the subject. It needs some light so we can discuss it. 1C2, to place, as if by throwing, as in cast doubt on their reliability. 1D, to deposit formally, and the example is a ballot, so you can cast a ballot formally. 1E1, to throw off or away, as in the horse cast a shoe. How can a horse cast off their shoe? How can they throw it off? Isn't it like nailed in there? It's nailed into their nail. Okay. Number 1E2, to get rid of. Synonym is discard. As in cast off all restraint. Yes, we need freedom. 1E3, synonyms are shed and molt. 1E4, there's a lot of 1Es, which is all about getting rid of. 1E4, to bring forth. Oh, see, now that's the opposite. Damn it. Okay, to bring forth, especially to give birth to prematurely. You cast? Okay. To bring forth, yeah, I guess that makes sense. It is sort of, expelling, getting rid of in some way. Although I don't think people usually say, I'm getting rid of this baby. 1F, to throw to the ground, especially in wrestling. 1G, to build by throwing up earth. You throw it up and you build something. 2A1, to perform arithmetical operations on. Synonym is add. I'm casting these together. I don't know. 2A2, to calculate by means of astrology. 2B is archaic. Synonyms are decide and intend. I had to make sure that I was recording because that would have sucked if I wasn't recording. 3A, to dispose or arrange into parts or into a suitable form or order. 3B1, to assign the parts of to actors. And the example is a dramatic production. Oh, it is so dramatic. We are going to cast these actors into these roles. And then the example is cast a movie. 3B2, I think that's what we're on. To assign to a role or part. To assign to a role or part. As the examples are actors. As in, was cast in the leading role. So you can cast a movie, or you can be cast in a movie as the leading role, or any other role. There are lots and lots of roles in movies. 4A, to give a shape to by pouring in liquid or plastic form into a mold and letting harden without pressure. So the example, what you're giving shape to is a substance, and then the real example is cast steel. 4B, to form by this process. Oh, what process is that? It is the process of to give a shape to by pouring in liquid or plastic form into a mold and letting harden without pressure. 5, synonym is turn, as in cast the scale slightly. Cast? I do not understand what that is. 6, to make by looping or catching up. To make by looping or catching up. And the example is a knot or a stitch. That's probably there's crochet and there's knitting and there's that other one that I can't think of the name for. Cross stitch, I think that's what it is. So maybe they cast in those things. Number 7, man, we're still in transitive. Number 7, synonyms are twist and warp, as in a beam cast by age. Finally, intransitive, there's less. 1, to throw something, specifically to throw out a lure with a fishing rod. 2 is British dialect. The synonym is vomit. So I'm Oh, I got a cast. I don't know how they say that. There is no example, but that's a good one. Number 3 is English dialect. So what's the difference? Is this American English dialect? Is this a different name for British dialect? Is this a certain part of England, of America? I don't know. Anyway, the definition is to bear fruit, and the synonym is yield. 4A, to perform addition. 4B is obsolete, and the synonyms are estimate, or no, probably estimate, and conjecture. 5, synonym is warp. 6, to range over land in search of a trail, and that is used of hunting dogs or trackers. And finally, number 7, the synonym is veer, V-E-E-R. And then we have a couple more synonyms, discard and throw. And castability is a noun, castable is an adjective. And then you wouldn't know this, but we actually have a phrase at the very end. After all that, cast lots. And that means to draw lots to determine a matter by chance. Like drawing straws, cast lots, okay. Let's see, the etymology says this is from Old Norse, kasta with a K, akin to the Old Norse word kos, K-O-S, which means heap, H-E-A-P, like I got a heap of stuff. I don't know. That was fun. Okay, so we had Casimir, Cassiopeia, Cassis, Cassiterite, that is the tin, cassock, cassoulet, cassowary, and cast. I am going to pick Cassiopeia because it is a thing in the sky that you can look at. I don't know if you can, yeah, it's a constellation, so you can see it with the naked eye. You just got to figure out where and when and which stars make it. Yeah, I don't know my constellations. I should probably learn them. What is today? It is March 6th. It looks like Lent is still going on. In Europe, it is European Day of the Righteous. Okay, that is commemorates those who have stood up against crimes against humanity and totalitarianism. Oh, why can't I say this word? Totalitarism with their own moral responsibility. So that seems good. In Norfolk Island, it is Foundation Day. In Ghana, it is Independence Day. They were independent from the UK in 1957, so it hasn't been that long, but congratulations to Ghana for that. And then it is Day of the Dude, and that is celebrated by the adherents of Dudeism. So if you want to go learn about Dudeism, you can go learn about Dudeism. Let's see, a couple more. In India, it is Dentist Day. In Bolivia, it is anniversary of El Alto City. And in the U.S., it is National Oreo Day. So maybe we should go get some Oreos. I just learned that they're releasing, it's like a Lady Gaga Oreo. What? They're like green and red, or no, not those colors. That's more Christmas. They're like sort of bright colors, and I just saw a thing for it somewhere, and I don't know. That seems kind of weird, but I don't know if it's like a different flavor or if it is a normal flavor with just fun colors, and then Lady Gaga gets a percentage of the sales. I don't know how this works. We're going to end the episode there. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. Let's see. So a couple of quick things. I just looked up this. Well, for those of you who listened to the end, you heard that I mentioned Lady Gaga Oreos. Just real quick, I looked it up. It's called... Well, her album is called Chromatica, so I think these Oreos are called Chromatica. They're pink, and I think the cream is green, and it's there's design cues from the 16-track album. The cookies are embossed with things from there. Anyway, yeah, it's all about marketing and capitalism. Also, there were no songs really in the last one, so whatever, who cares? I missed it. Then maybe I'll do a couple in this one if I get so inspired. Probably not. Okay, so our first word is cast, C-A-S-T, second form, noun from the 14th century. 1A, there's a bunch. 1A, an act of casting. 1B, something that happens as a result of chance. 1C, sorry, I forgot my numbers. A throw of dice, cast dice. There we go again. 1D, a throw of a line or net, as of a fishing line. 2A, the form in which a thing is constructed. 2B1, the set of actors in a dramatic production. Why does it have to be dramatic? It's any production, really. 2B2, a set of characters or persons, as in both great houses there is the usual cast of servants. That is a quote from Elizabeth Bowen. 2C, the arrangement of draperies in a painting. 3, the distance to which a thing can be thrown. Specifically, the distance a bow can shoot. So you're casting the arrow from the bow, and the distance is the cast, I guess. 4A, a turning of the eye in a particular direction. Also, the synonym expression. Expression yourself. As in, this freakish elfish cast came into the child's eye. This, if you replace the word, this freakish elfish expression came into the child's eye. That is a quote from Nathaniel Hawthorne. 4B, a slight strabismus. What's a strabismus? Number 5, something that is thrown or the quantity thrown. Especially, and then this is now British, the leader of a fishing line, like the end of the fishing line. That is the thing, that is the cast, which you are casting. 6A, something that is formed by casting in a mold or form, as 6A1, a reproduction in metal or plaster. Synonym is casting. And that reproduction, the example is a statue. 6A2, a fossil reproduction of the details of a natural object by mineral infiltration. There are all these different ways that the word cast can be used, and I wonder if they all come from the same place. There's molding, and there's throwing things, and there's looks in your eyes. I don't know. Okay, 6B, an impression taken from an object with a liquid or plastic substance. Synonym is mold. Not the gross mold on your cheese. It is making a mold of something. 6C, a rigid casing. A rigid casing used for immobilizing a usually deceased or broken part. And there's a long example. A rigid casing as of fiberglass or of gauze impregnated with plaster of Paris. That is a thing that you will there's often a rigid casing of that. I don't know. 7, synonyms are forecast and conjecture. 8A, an overspread of a color or modification of the appearance of a substance by a trace of some added hue. Synonym is shade, as in gray with a greenish cast. 8B, synonyms are tinge and suggestion. 9A, a ride on one's way in a vehicle. Synonym is lift. 9B is Scottish. Synonyms are help and assistance. Cast. I need some cast. I don't think they use it that way. 10A, synonyms are shape and appearance, as in the delicate cast of her features. Where were we? We are on 10B, characteristic quality, as in his father's conservative cast. Oh boy, I skipped a line. His father's conservative cast of a mind. 11, something that is shed, ejected, or thrown out or off. As 11A, the excrement of an earthworm. What? Why? Why is that specifically in here? Why is the excrement of an earthworm specifically being casted? Why can't my excrement be casted? I can say I'm going to go cast some stuff into the toilet. What? I don't understand why that. There must be some scientific reason. I don't know. That shocked me. I am shocked. 11B, a mass of soft matter formed in cavities of diseased organs and discharged from the body. 11C, the skin of an insect. Cool. 12, the ranging in search of a trail by a dog, hunting pack, or tracker. Okay, that was cast. Good times. Next is cast about. 2 words. This is a verb from 1575. Intransitive says to look around. Synonym is seek, as in cast about for a seat. Transitive says to lay plans concerning. Synonym is contrive, as in cast about how he was to go. Next is castanet. This is a noun from circa 1647. A percussion instrument used especially by dancers that consists of two small shells of hardwood, ivory, or plastic, usually fastened to the thumb and clicked together by the other fingers, usually used in plural. You'd say castanets, because if you got one castanet, you can't do anything with it. It's like, what's the sound of one hand clapping? And what's the sound of one castanet casting? I don't know. This is a Spanish word, castañeta, from castaña, which means chestnut. So they probably made these from the chestnut nut. From the Latin castanea, and there's more at the word chestnut. You think this is a simple thing, but I think to actually be good at it takes a lot of work and effort. People will play with them. I think I remember playing with them when I was a kid, and you clack them around, and it's fun, but it takes real skill. Next is cast around, 2 words, intransitive verb from 1904, and the synonym is cast about. Next is castaway, adjective from 1542, 1, thrown away. Synonym is rejected, not ejected, but rejected, although ejected works too. 2a, cast adrift or ashore as a survivor of a shipwreck. I never saw that movie. I know. How did I never see it? I've seen enough of it, I think. Maybe I saw it? No, I don't think so. I think I just saw clips. 2b, thrown out or left without friends or resources. Castaway is also a noun. A castaway is castawayed. Casted away? What would be the Maybe there is no verb of that. It's just an adjective. A castaway is a castaway. Next is cast down. 2 words, adjective from the 14th century. I like this synonym because they just flipped it. It's downcast. That is the synonym. Next is cast. You could also say cased. It is caste. Noun from the 1613. Number 1. One of the hereditary social classes in Hinduism that restrict the occupation of their members and their association with the members of other castes. 2a, a division of society based on differences of wealth, inherited rank or privilege, profession, occupation, or race. 2b, the position conferred by caste standing, and the synonym is prestige. 3, a system of rigid social stratification characterized by hereditary status, endogamy, and social barriers sanctioned by custom, law, or religion. And 4, a specialized form of a polymorphic social insect that carries out a particular function in the colony. And the example is the worker of an ant or bee, a specialized form of the bee worker, blah, 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 blah. And castism, I don't know why, castism is a noun. This is from the, I think, Portuguese word casta, which literally means race or lineage. Didn't know that. From the feminine of casto, which means pure or chaste, from the Latin castus. Now, why did this? Because, yes, it is often described as, like it said, in Hinduism, I think you think of India a lot when you think of the caste system. But how did they get a Portuguese word in there? Why isn't it a Indian word, Hindu word, an Urdu word? Why isn't it something like that? I don't know. Maybe it was started in Portuguese. I'm not sure. This is a thing, and I can't say that I necessarily agree with this. But, different cultures do different things, so you have to respect that. But I do feel like, this is much more of an older word, an older, in these modern times, it's not quite as apparent as it used to be. I think it is still around. But you know what? We're getting away from that. Okay, here we go with our last word. It is castellan. I think that's how it's pronounced. Castellan. Castellan. Noun from the 14th century, a governor or warden of a castle or fort. This is from the Middle English, castellane, from the Anglo-French castellan, from the Latin castellanus, which means occupant of a fortress. From castellanus, which means of a fortress. From castellum, which means fortress. And there's more at the word castle, which we shall be getting to in a couple episodes. There's a cool picture of a castle, which I keep on looking at. Okay, so we had cast about, castanet, cast around, cast away, cast down, cast, and castellan. Well, what do I want to pick? I guess I shall pick castanet as the word of the episode. And I don't have anything here. I mean, I can like tap on this thing. I can do something like, can you hear that? Maybe, possibly. I'm playing with some castanets and they're fun to clickety clackety, bloop bloop blop bloop 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 blop. I could have just done that. I didn't need to say any words. You know what? For you people, it's holiday time. Well, we're going to get to this quick because we keep on making these episodes longer and longer. Why do we do that? In the U.S., it is National Cereal Day. It is also the Critics' Choice Awards. It is still Lent. In Australia, it is Clean Up Australia Day. So go clean up all of Australia, the entire country, the entire island. In Belgium, it is Grandmom's Day. In France, it is Grandmother's Day. The grandmother, okay. In Albania, it is Teacher's Day. And in Iraqi Kurdistan, it is Liberation of Sulaymaniyah. I think I got that right. Okay, that is it for today. Thank you very much for listening. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the Dictionary. This is my podcast about all the stuff in the English language. Literally, all of it. Well, no, actually, no, that's not entirely true. I think there's a lot of words that are not in here. Shockingly. Somebody mentioned that there's some books out there that actually specifically have very unusual and unused words, which I don't think are in this book. And I actually ordered one, so I might start reading those as Patreon exclusives for all my one patron. He shall be getting some exclusives probably. And if you want to hear about those, if you want to hear me talk about those words, join Patreon. It's real cheap. My love is so cheap, and you will get episodes super early. I mean, I know I say that a lot, but I'm literally recording this on February 6th, and today is March 8th. So we're, a good 4+ weeks in advance. Why you want to hear this early? I don't know. Okay, let's talk about the words. The first one is castellated. 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 Adjective from 1679. 1. Having battlements like a castle. You know what? We might learn about battlements. No, we're not. Never mind. Okay, so number 2. Having or supporting a castle. This is from Middle Latin, the verb castellare, which means to fortify. Next is caster. Caster. And that looks like the number 2 definition can be spelled with an O-R. So this is a noun from the 14th century. One that casts, especially a machine that casts type. Type? Like you're typing? Clickety-clackety typing? Number 2, 2A, a usually silver table vessel with a perforated top for sprinkling a season, as sugar or spice, and everything nice. I added that last part. 2B, a usually revolving metal stand bearing condiment containers as cruets, or is it cruets? Cruets, mustard pot, and often shakers for table use. Also just a cruet stand. Well, see, now I want to look ahead to see if I'm pronouncing this rightly. Rightly? Which I'm probably not. Oh, where is it? I feel like it should be one of them. Obviously, it's one of them. Wow, we have so many pages for the letter C. If you didn't hear me talking about this at the beginning, boy, we are going to be in this letter for a year and a half. A whole year and a half of our lives being taken up by this one letter. Here we go. C-R-U-E-T. Cruet. Cruet. Okay, enough of that nonsense. So that is what a caster is. It's like, yeah, a spinny thing. Number 3, any of a set of wheels or rotating balls mounted in a swivel frame and used for the support and movement of furniture, trucks, and portable equipment. Number 4, the slight, usually backward tilt from vertical of the axis of the steering mechanism of an automobile for giving directional stability to the front wheels. And that's that. That's caster. Next is castigate. This is a transitive verb from 1606. To subject to severe punishment, reproof, or criticism. Synonym is the word punish. Castigation is a noun, and castigator is also a noun. Castigator castigates. Yeah. Okay, you get it. This is from Latin castigatus, which is from castigare. It doesn't say what it means, but I'm going to assume it means to punish. But there's more at the word chasten. C-H-A-S-T-E-N. Or could it be chasten? I think it's chasten. Next is Castile soup. Castile is C-A-S-T-I-L-E. 2 words, noun from the 15th century. It is often capitalized. A fine, hard, bland soap. Oh, I misread this. It's soap, not soup. Some of you were probably like, I've never heard of Castile soup, but I've heard of Castile soap. So why did they make soup out of soap? Soup out of soap. And I don't know. I got to come up with something. So it is a fine, hard, bland soap. I mean, why does it have to be bland? Are you eating it? No, if it was a soup, you would eat it. But it's soap, so you're not eating soap. It doesn't matter if it's bland. Okay, 3rd time's the charm. A fine, hard, bland soap made from olive oil and sodium hydroxide. Also, any of various similar soaps. Castile soap. This is from Castile, which means Castile. Is that a place, a location? They make this soap in Castile? Probably. But it is fine. It is a fine soap. And it is also bland. Okay, next we have Castilian. Capital C-A-S-T-I-L-I-A-N. Noun from 1566. 1. A native or inhabitant of Castile. See, it's a location. And then broadly the word, the synonym Spaniard. So Castile is in Spain. 2a, the dialect of Castile. 2b, the official and literary language of Spain based on this dialect. And Castilian is also an adjective. I did know in my brain that it was in Spain, but part of me wanted to say France, and I just wasn't sure, and so I just didn't say anything. Now I feel super dumb. Okay, but that's okay. That's how we learn. Next we have casting with an ing, noun from the 14th century. 1. Something that is cast out or off. And the example, this is a throwback to the last episode. The excrement of an earthworm. It is a casting. That must be a very scientific, proper term. The excrement of an earthworm is casting. The excrement of an earthworm is called casting. Why can't I call my excrement casting? Because I just can't. Okay, number 2, the act of one that casts, as 2a, the throwing of a fishing line by means of a rod and reel. 2b, the assignment of parts and duties to actors or performers. 3, something cast in a mold. See, this casting definition, all 4 of these, they combined all of the other ones into just a very short, concise thing. It's excrement, it's casting an actor, it's molding, it's throwing a fishing line, it's all that stuff. Next is casting couch, 2 words, noun from 1931. A couch in an entertainment executive's office on which aspiring actresses are reputed to perform. Oh, okay, this got adult. I was hoping that it wouldn't. but it did. Okay, yeah, I guess this happens. Aspiring actresses are reputed to perform sexual acts in exchange for desired roles, and then broadly, the practice of abusing one's power to obtain sexual partners. Okay, and wow, 1931. I mean, I guess I can't be shocked about that. I'm actually, I guess, shocked that it's not earlier than that. But that's really when like the film industry really started. But this concept of abusing one's power to obtain sexual partners, or just, I mean, I don't think you need partners in there really. Uh, the idea of that goes to the beginning of history probably. So this, I'm just gonna say, this is a terrible thing, and I would like to think that we are seeing a lot less of this, especially with the Me Too movement. All of everything that happened with, was it Harvey Weinstein and other situations like that. The idea of abusing your power for things like this is just utterly horrifying. And, there's part of me that hopes kids are listening to this, because I want you to grow up in a world where this is not happening, and I want you to be people I want you to grow up to be people who fight against things like this and don't allow it. If it's consensual, cool, but usually, it's very, very one-sided. Okay, I had to say that because there was part of me that wanted to pick it as the word of the episode, but then I thought, well, and then I would talk about it then, but then picking this as the word of the episode seems weird, so I figured, well, let's just talk about it now. And I think it's something that needs to be talked about. Okay, well, moving on to things that I hope are slightly different. Casting director. 2 words, noun, from 1922. A person who supervises the casting of dramatic productions, as films and plays. Next is casting vote. Noun, from 1678. It is 2 words. A deciding vote cast by a presiding officer to break a tie. Which is, this is very important right now, because the United States Senate is split, Democrats, Republican, 50-50, and so the tiebreaker is Kamala Harris. Next we have cast iron, 2 words with a hyphen, adjective, from 1692. 1, made of cast iron. 2, resembling cast iron. As 2A, capable of withstanding great strain, as in a cast iron stomach. Do you have a cast iron stomach? I think I'm sort of in the middle. Certain things aren't great, but I think I can tolerate most things probably. 2B, not admitting change, adaptation, or exception. Synonym is rigid, as in a cast iron will. And next and last word is cast iron again, but it is 2 words, no hyphen, noun, from 1664. A commercial alloy of iron, carbon, and silicon that is cast in a mold and is hard, brittle, non-malleable, and incapable of being hammer-welded, but more easily fusible than steel. That was more than I was expecting. Alrighty. So we had castellated, caster, castigate, Castile soap, Castilian, casting, casting couch, casting director, casting vote, cast iron, and cast iron. What do I want to pick as the word of the episode? Maybe I shall pick, for some reason I just want to pick Castile soap, just partly because I got confused and partly because, I don't know, it's just sort of different. It is a fine, hard, bland soap made from olive oil and sodium hydroxide. All right, I think I sang something else before, but I got another one in there, making up for before. All right, well, that is all the words for today. Let's talk about some holidays. Quickly, very quickly. In the U.S., it is National Napping Day, so let's all go take a nap today. It is also International Women's Day, so that's good. I hope that's all the countries. Very, very good. Although, every day should be Women's Day. It is still Lent. In Australia, it is Canberra Day. In Australia, Canada, and the UK, it is Commonwealth Day. Wow, Australia has a lot of holidays today. It is also 8 Hours Day in Australia. It is Labor Day, March Public Day. In Australia, Canada, and the UK, it is, I said National Napping Day. That's in those countries too. In New Zealand, it is Taranaki Anniversary. Um, let's see, more information on Women's Day in other places. In India, it is Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati Jayanti. And in Romania, it is Mother's Day. And let's check this other page real quick. Let's see, it's all that. It's International Day. And then a subset of International Women's Day is International Women's Collaboration Brew Day. Is that? Yes, Women Brewmasters. So go celebrate Women Brewmasters. So that is good for that. Thank you very much for listening. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. Today we are talking about some fun words. I don't know. I just need to change it up because I get bored otherwise. Gotta change it up. All right. We are gonna have so much fun in this episode today. Oh my gosh! Get excited. Get ready. Let's do this. The first word is castle. Castle. It is the first form noun from before the 12th century. 1A, a large fortified building or set of buildings. I don't know. I just think castles are cool. I don't think I've ever really been at one. I've been in a couple like old buildings that wouldn't really be considered castles, but man, I watched shows like Game of Thrones or something, and how cool would it be to, just be there with all the hubbub and Lord of the Rings and what else? There was another show I just popped in my head, but I can't think of what it was. I don't know. I just think that was very cool. Obviously that time of life back in the day, it was terrible. Disenchantment. It's not a real life show. It's a cartoon, but still, it's like, living in a castle. There's something cool about that. I would maybe want to do it for a day, and I think that's it. We will be, actually, you know what? Let's talk about this now. There is a picture of a castle, and there are 8 things that we can give names to. So the castle, the picture is it's a square. There's big walls that make the square, and there are like turrets. There are rounded portions at different parts, especially the corners. And then in the middle there is a big round cylinder building, a tall tower. And then between that and one of the walls, there is another building, which we will give a name to that. And then, so here we go. Number 1 is the fortified approach. So this is the opening. This is the gate. And there is a moat around this castle. And so there's like a mini little opening on the main side of the moat. And then, so that is the fortified approach. And then number 2 is the moat. I already said that. Number 3 is the drawbridge. So that is on the inside of the moat. We all know where the drawbridge is. Number 4 is the ward. What is the ward? What is that pointing to? I don't see what it's not pointing. Is it just the opening area? Is it just between the walls and between the building in the middle? Is that the ward? Possibly, because there's no line. It's not pointing to a thing. It's just on the open ground there. Number 5 is the angle. The angle tower. So these are the towers. Yes, each one of the towers on the corners of the square, those are the angle towers. Number 6 is the donjon. That's one name. It's also the keep. So that's the middle part. The building in the middle, that is the keep or the donjon. 7 is the chapel. Where is that? There's the chapel. It's just, in one of the corners. That would probably be it's the church. It's the place where they do the chapel-y things. Number 8, it's the last one. It is the gallery. So that is the building I mentioned before that goes between the keep and one of the walls. What do they do in the gallery? Is that where the art is? I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of other names for things, but that's what we got. It's just a cool picture of a castle. And that is the castle. So now it is time to read the rest of the definitions for castle. 1B, a massive or imposing house. 2, a retreat safe against intrusion or invasion. And number 3, the third form of the word rook. I know in chess you can castle, which means you swap. You swap the king and the rook, and so the rook is keeping the king safe in his little corner. I know that there are some rules behind it, but yeah, that is when you castle, you put the rook on the outside of the king. Let's see. This is from Norman and Picard, the French word castel, from the Latin castellum, which means fortress, diminutive of castrum, which is a fortified place, perhaps akin to the Latin castrare, which means to castrate? Wow, why did that get in here? I guess if you're... I don't know. I'm not going to think about that one too hard. Moving on to the second form of castle. This is a verb from 1587, starting with transitive. 1. To establish in a castle. 2. To move in castling. And the example is the chess king, like I talked about before. I'm so smart. Now we have one intransitive definition, which says to move a chess king 2 squares toward a rook, and in the same move, the rook to the square next past the king. So you move the king over, and then you put the rook on the other side of the king from his new spot. Okay, next is castled. Adjective from 1603. Synonym is castellated. And did we already read that one? Man, I've read so many of these ding-dang words. I don't know. I don't really care. Let's move on to castle in the air. This is 4 words from 1566. An impracticable, what? What is this word? Impracticable. An impracticable project. And the synonym is daydream. It is called also castle in Spain. So some people like to think that Spain is in the air, but it is not. It is on the ground. So yeah, impracticable, it's just like it's impractical. It's not practical to do this project. It is a daydream. But you know what? Let's make these castles in the air real. Let's do it. Let's make them actual things. Okay, next is cast off. 2 words with a hyphen. Adjective from 1613. Thrown away or aside. And cast off is also a noun with no hyphen. Just 1 word. But here we go. With cast off again, it is 2 words with no hyphen. It is a verb from 1575. Starting with transitive. 1. Synonym is loose, Loose, as in cast off a hunting dog. 2. Synonym is unfasten, as in cast off a boat. It's the same thing. You can cast off the dog, you can cast off the boat. Same thing in my mind. Number 3. To remove from a knitting needle in such a way as to prevent unraveling. Oh, that's very smart. And the example is you are removing a stitch. Intransitive is next. 1. To unfasten or untie a boat or a line. 2. To turn one's partner in a square dance and pass around the outside of the set and back. Cast your partner to and fro. I think I did this once before. 3. To finish a knitted fabric by casting off all stitches. Next is cast on. Is this the opposite of cast off? Let's find out. It is a transitive verb from 1840. To place, stitches, on a knitting needle for beginning or enlarging knitted work. Man, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like I should try knitting or crochet. It seems like, I've probably mentioned this before, it seems like something that I would find very meditative, and I would be good at it. It's very repetitive, but still sort of creative, but you're doing the same thing over and over again, and maybe I could do it. Wouldn't that be a funny sight to see me knitting while watching some TV show? I think that would be hilarious. But, you know, I might enjoy it. Who knows? Okay, next we have caster. This is the one with OR. In the last episode, we had ER, but castor was mentioned. So here we go with caster, noun from the 14th century. 1, we have the 1A definition for the word beaver. I probably talked about this back then. Number 2, the synonym is castorium, which is coming up in this episode. I also probably talked about this, but we'll talk about it again. And then number 3 is a beaver hat. So this is from the Greek word castor with a K, from castor with a capital K, which means castor with a capital C, which is actually our next word. So let's dive right into that one. This is a noun from the 15th century. One of the Dioscuri. Dioscuri with a capital D. I don't know what the Dioscuri are. I assume it's plural. Number 2, the more northern of the two bright stars in Gemini. So that is, I guess they were like, hey, look at that star. It looks like a beaver. Why? I don't know. It just does. Yeah. So I guess if we go back to beaver, it's probably castor is probably in the scientific name or something like that. But yes, beavers are castors. Okay. Next is castor bean. 2 words. Noun from 1819. The very poisonous seed of the castor oil plant. Also the synonym castor oil plant. And next is castoreum. This is a noun from the 14th century. A bitter, strong-smelling, creamy orange-brown substance that consists of the dried perineal glands of the beaver and their secretion, and is used especially by perfumers, called also just castor. Yes, if I did not mention this before, or if you have not heard me talk about this, this is a fun fact that I like to tell people, that castoreum is often found in perfumes and food. Don't forget the food; it's also in food, and it comes from. It's a secretion that comes from the perineal glands, which are near the beaver's anus. And somebody sometime thought that they should start putting it in stuff that humans used. So myself, as a vegan, I avoid this. I mean, I should avoid it anyway. I think we all should avoid it. But yeah, I can't. I think it's maybe like a vanilla flavor. I can't remember the specifics, but it might be like a vanilla flavoring or something. But yeah, I don't know why people do this, but it is a thing. So and I don't think they have to kill the beaver, so that's good. But also, beavers should not. We should not be taking stuff from their bodies for our own sake. And why do we need to flavor our stuff in this way? I just think this is completely ridiculous. I'm sorry, this is my rant. But yes, look for castoreum, and if it's something that you want, go get it. If it's something that you don't want, which I think most of you are probably in agreement with, let's not purchase stuff with this thing in it. Let's be nice to the beavers, please. Okay, castor oil is next. 2 words, noun from 1746. A pale, viscous, fatty oil from castor beans used especially as a cathartic and as a lubricant and plasticizer. This is probably from its former use as a substitute for castoreum in medicine. So I guess they use castoreum in medicine too. I think this is from our next and last word, which is castor oil plant. Castor oil has a hyphen, and then there's the word plant. So it looks like maybe we can get this from an actual plant and not from a beaver. But anyway, this is a noun from 1836. A tropical old world herb widely grown as an ornamental or for its oil-rich castor beans. And the scientific name is Ricinus communis. I think it's something like that. Let's see. So we had castled in the air, cast off, cast on, castor bean, castoreum, castor oil, and castor oil plant. There is a song from Les Mis that's something in the air. I don't think it's castle in the air. It might be. I could probably try and sing that. But instead, I think what I'm going to do is pick castoreum as the lovely word of the episode because it's so great, right? Okay. But I thought it would be kind of funny to read the first few words in a song form. What song will this take? I don't know. A bitter, strong-smelling, creamy orange-brown substance. Yeah, that was fun. All right, well, those were all the words. I should quickly look at some holidays. There's not a lot. It's Lent, and in Lebanon, it is Teacher's Day. So today, March 9th, that's all we got going on. All right, thank you very much for listening. Seriously, thank you. And until next time, this is Spencer, dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to this podcast called The Dictionary. If I had some theme music, this would be a good place to play it. The dictionary, some idiot reads a bunch of words in this book called The Dictionary. Oh man, my wife is in the other room. She's probably like, what is happening? Like every weekend. Okay, the first word is castor sugar. You could spell it with an O-R or an E-R. That would be the castor part, not the sugar part. The sugar part's spelled the normal way. And it is two words. It is a noun from 1855. It is chiefly British, and it is a finely granulated. I just want to make sure I was reading that word right. Granulated, finely granulated white sugar. I never heard of castor sugar. It's probably from the castor oil plant, maybe? I don't know. Okay, next we have cast out. By the way, I say I don't know a lot because there are so many things that I do not know, which is partly why I'm reading this book, so I can know more things. Okay, cast out is next. It is two words, transitive verb from the 14th century, and it means to drive out. Synonym is expel. Next is okay. So yeah, this is an interesting part. Something maybe if there's some kids listening, maybe they don't know about this, but they are gonna learn. It is the word castrate, verb from 1554. 1. To render impotent or deprive of vitality, especially by psychological means. So that is more of the mental castration, but we are going to get into the physical castration part now. 2a, to deprive of the testes, and a synonym is geld, G-E-L-D. I am not familiar with that word. Yes, to deprive of the testes, that's a very nice way to say it. Basically, it's just getting rid of them, cutting them off. But similarly, and I was actually not aware of this because I'm dumb, to deprive of the ovaries. So this, and then the synonym is spay. So that is something that we see a lot with animals. Spay and neuter your pets, your dogs, your cats. We don't need more. So that's considered the same word, castration. So castrate is also a noun. Castration is a noun. Castrator is a noun. You're the one who is doing this to people. Often a vet, but not all the time. And then castratory is an adjective. Okay, so this is from the Latin verb castrare, which is akin to the Greek word chiazine, which means to split, from the Sanskrit sasati, which means he slaughters. Yeah, that just gives you an idea of what we're talking about. Next and related is castrato. This is a noun from 1763. A singer castrated before puberty to preserve the soprano or contralto, or you'd say contralto range of his voice. So yeah, before a boy hits puberty, this was something that they would do back in the day. I don't think it's done anymore, although I wouldn't be surprised in some parts of the world that, you can hear my stomach rumbling. Yeah, before they hit puberty, they get rid of the testes, and so they're not getting as much testosterone in their body to basically have them go through puberty the normal way. And so they keep that high-pitched voice because it sounds so beautiful. Isn't that worth it, right? No, it's not. Clearly, I have gone through puberty. This is Italian from the verb castrare, which means to castrate. Okay, next is castroism. Castroism. This is with a capital C, noun from 1960. Actually, I think you'd say Castroism, yeah. The political, economic, and social principles and policies of Fidel Castro. And Castroite is a noun. Next we have casual. Oh, we're so casual today. I'm in my pajamas like I am basically every other day. This is the first form adjective from the 14th century. 1. Subject to, resulting from, or occurring by chance, as in a casual meeting. 2a, occurring without regularity. Synonym is occasional, as in casual employment. I have employment every once in a while. It's just occasional. 2b, employed for irregular periods, as in a casual worker. 2c, met with an occasion. Why did I read that so stupid? Met with on occasion and known only superficially, as in a casual friend. 3A1. Feeling or showing little concern. Synonym is nonchalant. I don't know why I love that word. Oh, we're so nonchalant. As in a casual approach to cooking. 3A2. Lacking a high degree of interest or devotion, as in casual sports fan. I have to admit, I think I am a casual sports fan. I don't follow any sports teams regularly. I have, at different times in my life, followed them more so, but yeah, it is not one of my biggest interests, so I'm just casual about it. If it's on, I'll watch it, and I get into it. It's fun. Also is in casual readers. I'm also barely a casual reader. 3A3. Done without serious intent or commitment, as in casual sex. What an example. It's very not serious. It's nonchalant. Nonchalant sex. Would you like some nonchalant sex? Sorry. Okay. 3B1. Synonyms are informal and natural, as in a casual conversation. 3B2. Designed for informal use, as in casual clothing. That's my favorite. A couple synonyms. The words accidental and random. Casually is an adverb, and casualness is a noun. This is from the Latin casualis or casus, which means fall or chance, and there's more at the word case. Next is the second form of casual, noun from circa 1852. 1. A casual or migratory worker. 2. An officer or enlisted person awaiting assignment or transportation to a unit. Next is casualty, noun from the 15th century. This is not casual, even though it's in the word. Casualty. 1 is archaic. Synonyms are chance and fortune. Now, wait a minute. Am I reading this wrong? Casualty, right? Casualty. Yes, okay. So, yeah, that one is archaic. The example is losses that befall them by mere casualty. That's a quote from Sir Walter Raleigh. Number 2, serious or fatal accident. Synonym is disaster. Yes, this is not a good word in most cases. 3A, a military person lost through death, wounds, injury, sickness, internment, or capture, or through being missing in action. We also call that MIA. Lots of ways that you can, a military person can be a casualty. 3B, a person or thing injured, lost, or destroyed. Synonym is victim, as in the ex-senator was a casualty of the last election. They went bye-bye. Next is casual water. 2 words, noun from 1899. How can water be casual? Just, hey, water, you just hanging out? Yep, just hanging out, just being water. A temporary accumulation of water not forming a regular hazard of a golf course. Okay, that's water. That's very casual. Next is, okay, so our last few words are, I'm not familiar with these, so I'm curious to get into them. This first one is casuarina. It's a casuarina, something like that. Casuarina, casuarina. Noun from 1777. Any of a genus of dicotyledonous. That's not how you say that word. Dicotyledonous, something like that. Chiefly Australian trees which have whorls of scale-like leaves and jointed stems resembling horsetails, and some of which yield a heavy hard wood. I am so curious about what this word is, though. Dicotyledonous. The genus name is Casuarina, of the family Casuarinaceae. And so this is from the genus name, which is from the Malay word kasuari, which literally means the cassowary tree. So we recently had the word cassowary, the bird, but this is the cassowary tree, which is from the resemblance of its twigs to cassowary feathers. So do the cassowary birds live in the cassowary this cassowary tree, this casuarina, and are their feathers similar to the twigs on purpose for camouflage purposes, to throw back to a recent word? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we should find pictures of both of them and compare and just, learn more about that. Next, we have casuist. You can say casuist or you can say casuist. This is a noun from 1609. One skilled in or given to casuistry. Casuistry? That is the last word, but first we must say that casuistic or casuistical, those are adjectives. This is probably from the Spanish casuista, which is from the Latin casus, which means fall or chance, and there's more at the word case. So what is one skilled in or given to casuistry? Casuistry. No, you have to emphasize the first syllable. Casuistry. There we go. Casuistry. This is our last word. It is a noun from 1723. One, a resolving of specific cases of conscience, duty, or conduct through interpretation of ethical principles or religious doctrine. Casuistry. Number 2, specious argument, or is it specious argument? Synonym is rationalization. Okay, that's some new stuff. And then if you are one who does that, who talks about that, who has these arguments, these discussions, you are a casuist, I think. Okay, so we had castor, sugar, cast out, castrate, castrato, castroism, casual, casualty, casual water, casuarina, casuist, and casuistry. I hope I said all those correctly. Well, I think I shall just pick the word casual as the word of the episode because I love being casual. Formal is sometimes fun, going to a formal party and dressing up, but in general, I just like being casual and hanging out and not having so much pressure, right? Don't we all want that? I think most of us do. So does that mean I have to sing a song about being casual? Oh, maybe we can read some of the synonyms. Okay, what's happening? I like being casual. You can also say accidental or nonchalant or informal or natural or random. These are all synonyms for casual. Thank you for listening to this. I think I have to say more words about, what did we, March 10th. It is still Lent. In the United States, it is Harriet Tubman Day. So, this would be a really great day for them to say that they're going to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. I know that they're really trying. Hopefully this happens. Because that would be huge. That would be gigantic and deserved, I believe. I watched that Harriet Tubman movie not that long ago. And, man, I knew, I guess the basics, but I feel like I knew just the tiniest portion of her life. And even the movie can't go into all of her life, but I had no idea. I highly, highly recommend that movie. And the actress, I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but she's also in a series, a Stephen King series, and she's great in both. Very different characters, but she's an excellent actress. So anyway, Harriet Tubman Day. In the U.S., in Bulgaria, it is Holocaust Remembrance Day, also good thing to recognize. In the United States, it is National Women and Girls HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. In Romania, it is Selkeli Freedom Day. And then in Tibet, it is the Tibetan Uprising Day. Let's see, anything else on this other page for March 10th? Oh, great. You're showing me ads. That's wonderful. Let's see. It is Mario Day in the U.S.? What? It's actually Mario from Nintendo. Mario Day celebrates the honors the success of the famous Nintendo character Mario. Created by Mr. Miyamoto, Mario's first appearance was in the 1981 arcade game Donkey Kong. So why is it today? It was embraced in 2016. I forgot about this because March 10th, when you write it MAR 10, it looks like Mario. Oh, boy. People are great and clever. All right, well, that's all we got to say today. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.